scholars, you are much welcome to the Myschool channel, and I am Abiola. In this channel, we are tackling the 2017 JAMB pass question for the subject Biology. In this clip, we'll be solving questions 1 to 20. So join me as we jump right on to question number 1. The matured sex cell which takes part in sexual reproduction is referred to as what? Okay, so we'll look at the correct option here is option A for gametes. Gametes are the sex cells, okay, that unite together to form a zygote, okay. When the zygotes get well developed, they grow into what we know as the embryo. After some time, the embryo becomes the fetus, especially in human, okay, using the human context. So the correct option to the question we have here is gametes, okay. Gametes are the sex cell, the reproductive cells. Option A is very correct. Question 2. The biome that is characterized with large herbivores, few and scattered fire-resistant trees is what? That biome is the Savanna biome, okay? Over there, these trees are able to survive this kind of fire outbreak or fire occurrences there because, number one, they have thick bark, okay? Just like we have trees like palm tree, acacia, pine trees, and what have you. Another characteristic that make them survive in the harsh weather of savanna is that these trees, they have long tap roots that enable them to reach water table so that they can take enough water during droughts. And again, they have they are deciduous, okay, that help them to avoid moisture loss, okay, when the temperature is quite high. And they also have trunk that serves as water storage for them. So the best answer or option to this question posed to us, highlighting these fire-resistant trees, is option A for savanna. Right now we are solving question number 3. Red blood cells are also known as what? Okay, they are also known as erythrocytes. Okay, they contain hemoglobin, that is for carriage or transport of oxygen, okay, in the blood. We have thrombocytes. This is another name for platelets. Okay, they're responsible for blood clotting and prevention of blood loss, okay, during bleeding. And we have phagocytes. What comes to your mind is phagocytosis, okay, engulfing foreign materials. Then leukocytes is another name for white blood cells. These are responsible for body defense. So the correct option to the question posed to us is erythrocytes, option A. Question 4. The joint between the femur and the tibia is known as what? Okay, each joint is found, all right, the elbow joint and the knee joint. So the femur is your thigh bone, okay, and the tibia is just immediately after the femur when you are heading for your ankle, okay. So the joints are found, all right, your elbow, then also at the knee joint. So the knee joins the femur and the tibia together. So the joint you find there is the hinge joint, okay, which allows for movements in just a particular direction. Ball and socket joint, that is found around your shoulder here, okay, so it allows you to move in different directions. Also, you can find the ball and socket joint around your hips, okay. We have the pivot joint, that is, it allows a movement, okay, of one bone, all right, just like your atlas and your axis. Then we have the gliding joint. It allows a bone to glide or slide over the other. Example is found in your ankle and your wrists, okay. So the correct option here is option A for hinge joint. Question 5. What is the primary function of cofactors, okay? When you mention cofactors, what may come to your mind again are coenzymes, okay? Cofactors, they are the inorganic molecule that enzymes require for their proper functioning. While coenzymes, they are organic non-protein molecules, okay? So examples of cofactors, they are like inorganic molecules like copper ion, zinc, iron, and what have you. So going back to the question, the primary function of the cofactors is to aid in enzyme functioning, for them to function properly. So the correct option here is option A. Question 6. Use the diagram below to answer use the diagram above rather to answer the question that follows. The diagram represents a what? Okay, this is an anemometer. Okay, this measures wind speed. Okay, hygrometer is used to measure relative humidity in the air. Wind vane is used to determine the direction of wind. Sorry, the direction of wind vane. Okay, it has a pointer and the vane at the back. We have a rain gauge is used to measure the amount of liquid precipitation in a particular area for a specific period of time. Typically, or for layman, we can say rain gauge is used to measure amount of rainfall. So the correct option here, the diagram we are seeing here is an anemometer. So option C is super correct. Please remember to use the link in the description below. This link takes you to the Myschool website where you can get the Myschool mobile app or purchase the Myschool software for just 1,000 naira. And remember that you have access to over 60,000 past questions with their answers. Okay, so right now we are tackling question number 7. Coloration of the eye is dash variation. Okay, when you talk about physiological variation, you're talking about function and activities, okay, of an organism or one of its parts. Example, like ability to taste phenylate, your carbamide, PTC, blood group, okay. When you talk about morphological variation, you're talking about the structure, okay, of an organism, the form and the structure of an organism, and such variation include like size, shape, color. So talking about coloration of the eye or coloration of the hair, okay, that refers to morphological variation. Adaptive variation, recessive variation, okay, those ones are definitely out of it. So the correct option here is option B for morphological variation. Please remember that we need you to always hit the like button because we believe you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to click on the subscribe button and always tap on bell notifications so you can get alerts as soon as we release the next video. Question 8. Which of the following choices correctly describes the composition of the cell membrane? Okay, the cell membrane, also known as the plasma membrane, is a double layer of lipids and protein. Okay, it has a lot of functions, okay, that it does for the cell. It separates the cytoplasm of the cell content, okay, from its external environment. It also allows, it serves as a kind of permeable membrane, okay, where it allows for the endocytosis and exocytosis, okay, that is you taking in food and letting out toxic materials away from the cell. So just to wrap it up, the correct option is that it contains lipids and proteins. So option B is super correct. Question 9. The feeding relationship among a set of members of a community is referred to as what? Among a set of members, okay, of a particular community. So looking at it, the most variable option here is a food chain. Okay, this is a very linear structure, okay, for transfer of energy or for how food content is being moved, okay, from one organism to the other. All right, so normally it starts with a producer. Okay, we don't use such term for food chains. Okay, we use when we are talking about the trophic level, then you use producers, primary consumers, and the rest. So for food chain, you identify the organism itself. Okay, like for instance, for the producer level, you just talk about like plants, a particular plant, then you go next, okay, and that entails probably a grasshopper, then you move ahead probably to snake, then you move ahead then to eagle or man. Okay, so that's for a food chain. So the fitting answer here is a food chain. Talking about a food web, okay, a food web is a combination of several food chains whereby if a source of food is being eliminated or it is absent, the organism feeding on them still have chances of survival because there are other food sources where it can live on. Okay, so this is a combination of several food chains. Okay, pyramid of number talks about the number of organism on a particular energy level. So the correct option here, the most viable option here, is food chain. Question 10. Nitrogen is released into the atmosphere when what happens? Okay, when lightning strikes. Okay, each bolt of lightning carries enough electrical energy, okay, that is strong and powerful to break the nitrogen molecule, okay, available in the atmosphere, and this leads to a combination with oxygen to form nitrates, and this nitrate then dissolves in the rainwater or water on the surface, okay, and this goes down into the soil and they are being absorbed by the roots of the plant, okay. So this also adds to the release of nitrogen, okay. Then also we have other nitrogen fixing bacteria. Another mix of nitrogen fixation is when you apply organic and inorganic manure to the soil. So going back to our question, nitrogen is released into the atmosphere when lightning strikes. So option D is very correct. Question 11. Size, color, and fingerprints are examples of what? Okay, they're examples of morphological variation. Talking about morphological variation, we are referring to the form and structure of an organism, and this includes, okay, size, color, fingerprints, shape, okay. Physiological variation talks about the function activities of an organism, and you may refer to things like ability to taste, PTC, blood group, and what have you. Coming back to this continuous variation, you talk about things like gender, okay. Coming to adaptive variation. So just to bring everything to conclusion, we can confidently say that the correct option here is C for morphological variation. Option C is very correct. Question 12. The level of organization in Spirogyra and Volvox is what? Okay, it's still the cell level, although this is a simple multicellular, these are simple multicellular organisms, okay? This exists in colonial form and this in filamentous form, okay? They belong to the kingdom Plantae, okay? The phylum of Thylophyters, okay? Each of all of these, their cells, all those cells that they contain, okay, they exist as an independent unit, so they still operate at the cell level. So the correct option here is option C for cell organization. Now we're on to question 13. Which of the following scenarios is an example of cohesion? Okay, at first you should remember that cohesion is just that attraction between molecules of the same material, okay, just the same material. Take note of that. So water molecules stick to the surface of a mirror. So already you are talking about two different substances, okay, water and mirror. Okay, that is definitely not cohesion. Water sticks to the walls of blood vessels, talking about water and blood vessels. That is out of it as well. So water molecules stay on top of a pine needle because the water is attracted to the surface of the needle, okay, two different materials in contrast, okay. Then let's look at option D. Water molecules stick to one another and form a bead, okay, water molecules. So the correct option here is option D, okay, that's coming together, that attraction between molecules of the same substance or the same material. So option D is the most correct option. Option D is very correct. Question 14. The common thing in plant and animal cell is what? Okay, chloroplast is found in animals, contains chlorophyll for photosynthesis in plants, okay. This is not present in animals, okay. Cell wall, talking about cellulose cell wall, that is common in plants and not in animal cell. Then let's talk about the nucleus. Of course, the nucleus is present in both plants and animal cell except for bacteria and blue-green algae, okay. So nucleus is very correct, okay. It's responsible for controlling the activities of the cell growth and other things that is entailed, okay. So the nucleus also carry the genetic information about that particular organism. So the common thing in plant and animal cell is C, option C for nucleus. Nucleus is the correct answer. Question 15. The modification in structure, physiology, and behavior of plants and animal is called what? Okay, take note of the word modification. So, and this modification involves structure, okay, physiology, the body process, and the behavior, the way they respond, okay. So this modification is talking about adaptation, okay, for survival and chances of increasing reproduction, okay? Majorly it's just for survival. So this adaptation is about you modifying certain things, which may include your structure, your physiology, and your behavior. So the correct option here is option A for adaptation. Question 16. Use the diagram above to answer the question that follows. Okay, so now this is the question. The instrument is used to measure what? At first, we have to identify what instrument we have been shown in the diagram. Okay, this is an anemometer. Okay, and it measures the speed of wind. Okay, talking about atmospheric pressure, it is being measured using a barometer. Okay, relative humidity, you use a hygrometer. Okay, hygrometer. Direction of wind, we use wind vane. Then option D, speed of wind, we use anemometer, which is shown in the diagram above. So the correct option here is option D for speed of wind. Kindly remember that clicking on this link in the description below, it takes you to the Myschool website. This enables you to be able to ask your questions right now, and you'll be able to get solutions within moments, because we have several solution providers waiting for you on the Myschool website. So join me as we tackle question 17. A bacteria that is spherically shaped is called what? Okay, it's referred to as coccus. Okay, coccus spherical. Diplobacillus, that is a pear. Okay, a pear that is rod-like. Okay, then when you move to bacillus, that's just purely rod-like shaped. Okay, when you come to vibro, that is a curved, rigid rod-like shape, a curved, rigid rod-like shape. So the correct answer here to a bacteria that is spherically shaped is referred or called coccus. Okay, like staphylococcus, streptococcus. Okay, staphylococcus means it has is arranged. Okay, like grape clusters. And streptococcus means it's arranged as chain. Okay, all right. So the correct answer here is option B for coccus. In case you have better steps or explanations to any of the questions we have tackled so far, please, we would like to know. Kindly use the comment section below indicating the question number and the solutions you would like to share. Question 18. Okay, the flame cells are used for excretion in what? Okay, they are used for excretion in fluke, and fluke belongs to what you can refer to as the flatworms. Okay, other examples include tapeworm, planaria, and flukeworm itself. Okay, nematodes, we are talking about roundworms. Okay, example is your hookworm. So the correct answer or the correct option to this question, that the flame cells are used for excretion in fluke. So the correct answer is A for fluke. Number 19. Food chain refers to the feeding relationships between animals in a what? In a particular community, not a family, not a phylum, not a group. Okay, so community. And that can involve probably from, let's take an instance of a food chain. Let's take from grasshoppers to lizards. Okay, from lizards to snake, from snake to hawk, from hawk to man, or what have you. So you can see that that's a particular community, not a particular family. So the correct answer here is option C for community. Question number 20. The host of Taenia solium is what? Okay, the answer here is pig, although pig serves as the secondary or intermediate host. Their definite host is we humans, and it is very rampant in pork eating communities throughout the world. Okay, and this leads to this tapeworm. Okay, pig's pork tapeworm, and this leads to a kind of infection called cysticercosis. Okay, and it can cause seizures, and it's very, very salient that one seeks medical help as soon as possible. So going back to the question at hand, the host of Taenia solium in the context of the options given to us is option B for pig. We've come to the end of this segment, but there are more clips to come, and we believe that you've enjoyed this content and you would like us to bring you more of such. All you just have to do for us is to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button and tap on bell notifications so you can get informed as soon as the next video is released.